Welcome, dear guest, friend or follower, to the QUILi Caribbean YouTube channel. If you can or can't sew, it's not a problem. Learn firsthand by a world-renowned lingerie and bathing suit designer, Mr. Hugo QUILi. He's also known for his lingerie and bathing suit easy-to-put-together patterns. We welcome novices, hobbyists, and professional sewers to this channel. Rest assured, you all will learn new tips and a nice craft. After or during the tutorial, you may also sew your own lingerie and you'll be amazed at how easy it really is. You may also start your own business if you wish to. Today we're presenting Bralette Joana pattern 2038, which is a very nice and simple bralette to sew. It consists of a triangle-shaped preformed cups. We have a back on fold, which will have a strip which will go from the middle of the back to the shoulder and meet the shoulder straps. We have the elastic lace for the two cups, the armhole, the underbust side of the cup, and the chest neckline. It is a simple to assemble bralette. Very simple and very nice. It will have a front clasp. You can use a G clasp, plastic or metallic clasp, which will vary depending on the width of the elastic you will use to sew the underbust. A bigger shackle for the union of the three back straps, a 8-shaped clasp, fold-over elastic, brass shoulder straps of 9 mm, and for the underbust, a 1.5 cm wide elastic. We're starting with the preformed cup, which we are going to overlock to protect and secure the borders. Now take the elastic lace at the chest neckline from below to the top with a half centimeter from the bottom part and a 1 cm margin from the elastic lace edge to the side of the cup. We sew it with a zigzag stitch of 2 mm wide and 3.5 mm long. We're going to all the border. Here we close it off, and here we see that on the pattern has a notch, which will transfer onto the elastic lace. It is to indicate that the cup should reach here. So now we are going to baste with a long straight loose stitch, which will be discarded afterwards. We are starting at the top and will match to the notch we have at the other side. Let's accommodate the elastic lace so that it will cover the cup nicely and will reach the notch. We'll have leftover fabric, which we will have different options for. We can sew it up with a straight stitch, or we could gather pieces of successfully 1 cm until all the leftover fabric has been gathered. I will be using a straight basting stitch onto the lace, the same I used to sew the armhole. This I will leave with the strand which I will use for the ruching. Now we are going to slightly pull the exterior thread, which by pulling, the ruching will form. See that we have slightly pulled the strands and the ruching forms. Now we flip the cup over and we sew using a tighter straight stitch and stretch a little bit. The question which we often receive is, why is it that we have so much leftover fabric? Normally, when we do this type of gatherings, we have this amount of leftover fabric, which are the ones that form the creases. This is how it looks now, and the leftover fabric will be trimmed. This leftover was needed to perform the ruching. Now at the armhole we sew a fold-over elastic. I'm folding it. We are going to do it with a 3.6 zigzag stitch, 1.5 mm long and 4.5 to 5 mm wide. We start with sewing the fold-over elastic for about 2 cm, and then we start inserting the preformed cup on the side of the armhole. We start sewing until the needle grasps the fabric. We take 5 cm from the presser foot to us, we stretch 1 cm, we fold the elastic, we stretch again a bit less than 1 cm and we sew. This is to avoid putting too much tension on the armhole. Now we have the back and we are going to sew the fold-over elastic to the armhole. We can also sew it with an elastic with a French seam, or we can sew it straight with wavy lace. We start sewing the fold-over elastic, then we stop and we insert the back piece armhole into the fold-over elastic, and as soon as the needle grasps the fabric, we stop, we take 5 cm, we stretch 1, we insert and align the fabric and we stretch again and we sew, helping from behind. When we reach to the top, we continue sewing for like 5 cm and we trim it off. We start the same process, but this time from the additional 5 cm we just ended with, and we repeat the same operation. We take the top at the armhole and we take the back piece also at the armhole and we join them on top of each other, and with the zigzag stitch of 2 mm wide and 3.5 mm long, we'll match them up and sew at the border of the fold-over elastic. We reached at the end and now we perform a back stitch. We have some leftover fabric which we will trim. Lycra and elastic fabrics do not fray, so I can sew them at the border and have no inconveniences. Now we go to the next side and repeat the procedure. I turn the top to the internal side and I'm going to overlock the underbust. I'm starting at the left side and see how the machine trims off the excess fabric. Add the underbust starting at one of the cups. I am going to start to add the underbust elastic over the cup. On the cup we don't stretch, but when we go onto the fabric we'll stretch. We're going to do as if we're using a cover stitch machine. So we are going to use a zigzag stitch of 2 mm long and 4 mm wide. We'll put the magnet guide to help guide the sewing process to have a neat stitch. We need to keep the distance in mind. Remember that at the cup the stretching is minimal to none. When we finish sewing the contour elastic onto the cup, we start taking 5 cm from the presser foot to you, stretch half a centimeter, and we sew until reaching to the other cup. Then we repeat the same operation as to the previous cup. I've already cut the 3 straps, which will go in the back and on the shoulders. A short one for the back and 2 equally long ones for the shoulders. The measurements necessary, depending on the size, can be found on the pattern. We take the straps, this is the back strap, and we're going to insert it into the 8th clasp. First, with the right side up, we insert it through the first opening, then we flip it to the other opening and insert it through, and we perform a finishing stitch. We perform this action with all 3 straps. We lower the presser foot. Remember that the clasp goes by the side of the presser foot and not beneath the presser foot. We use our fingers to guide the strap and we do a reverse stitch also. We do this with a zigzag stitch of 2 mm long and 0.6 to 0.8 mm wide. This is the backside strap and we are using a bigger round shackle or ring to pass the strap through, and we then pass the strap back into the upper and then the lower opening of the 8th clasp, which was previously sewn onto the strap. This one will go to the center of the back. Now we are joining the shoulder strap to the ring. With the right side down, we insert the strap and we insert the strap into the openings of the 8th clasp, which was previously sewn onto. We also repeat this for the 3rd strap. And we have the center back, the neck will be here, and these will be on the shoulders. Here at the armhole, we are going to start sewing the shoulder strap on about 7 mm of the armhole with a straight stitch from side to side, and we do a back stitch. Afterwards, we cut the excess. Then we fold the strap over and we do a zigzag closing stitch of 0.6 mm long and 2 mm wide. We need to help sliding the fabric with our finger. Now we trim the excess strap pieces. We are rearranging the bralette to see where the straps should go and to avoid sewing them twisted or in the wrong place. Now we repeat the same operation to sew on the other shoulder strap. Now we continue with the center back strap and we perform the same operation as with the previous two shoulder straps. We have the metallic clasp here, which we will be adhering to the front. We are going to slide the underbust elastic through one of the openings of the clasp and we are taking it up to the border of the cup and we are going to sew it with the same zigzag stitch of 2 mm wide and 0.6 mm long. We start with 2 back stitches and then we go from side to side, and upon finalizing we perform a back stitch. Normally, industrially, this is done with a closing stitch reinforcement machine, but this is a very expensive machine for when starting out in this business. We trim off the excess elastic and we repeat the same operation to the other side and the clasp opening. This is the completed project. It wasn't that difficult after all, right? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and we invite you to follow our Facebook page and to visit our website. The relevant information will be found in the description box below.